Yeah, and we are live, guys. The Lions warm-up game against the Proteas has concluded, and South Africa were comprehensively beaten. I'm going to talk about this a little bit differently. I'm not really going to be upset about this result or anything. There's a couple of things that I wanted to look at, a couple of things that I wanted to see, and some of those answers were, yeah, you could say they were answered. Some of those questions were answered. I mean, sorry. Some of the answers I got that I was looking for. But let's discuss this together as a fan base and see what you guys also have to say about it. I will give my quick summary about of the game itself, and then we can get into some discussions around it and what it means for the future. But before we get going, before we get started, don't forget to click that subscribe button, click that notification bell for all future videos as well. And also, don't forget to click a like on that video, please. It's very important that you do so. Smash a like on that video and leave a comment section in the comment in the comment section below as well. When this video is obviously completed, I would like to hear your thoughts. Leave your thoughts on this video. But also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. This is the current issue. Diava Previs is on the front cover. Please go download it. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is in the screen as well as in the description, and that's the cover on the screen as well for you guys, so you can have a look at it too. So please go ahead and download that magazine. It's very important, guys. There's so much exclusive interviews, etc., and then insight into the game that you can find from there. Also, you can become a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as the description if you want to help promote South African cricket and you want to help South African cricket grow. The Patreon account is exactly for that. So the link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your daily updates on news and anything that happens within South African cricket that is worthwhile to speak about. We write articles about it on cricketfanaticsmag.com. So go over there for that. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'd like to discuss everything that has to do with this warm-up match. Let's get a very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the warm-up between the Proteas and the Lions. Now, I want to first and foremost, let's start this whole conversation with, let's just calm down. This was a warm-up game, a game that South Africa wanted to give majority of the batters. It seemed like that to me, at least. Batters that never really got much cricket under their belt over the last couple of months, etc. Try to give them a proper run out and show them, yeah, and show what they're capable of, particularly for the batters. I think it was mainly for the batters this particular warm up game. Although there is something that I want to say, the Lions showed intent. They showed the style of cricket with a bat that we want to play, or a lot of our fans want us to see us play. But the bowling was very poor today, and there's no other way to look at it. It does seem like a lot of the bowlers over here are trying to get some rhythm under their belt, etc. I mean, we bowled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bowlers. It was crazy. And they bowled almost in T20 spells. I mean, 4 overs apiece. I mean, Lungi Ngiri bowled pretty well for his 0 for 22. Anik Nokia, it's quite expensive. He needs to find a little bit more control because we know that if he makes a mistake, it goes to the boundary. Either a keeping mistake will come from that, or a little flick comes off their pads, or a little flick comes off the bat. Those wayward deliveries aren't good, and I think that he needs to slow that down a bit. When it comes to Marco Jansen, I think similarly the same. He needs to find a little bit more control. We bowled very short and in positions where they could play a free-flowing game. Short deliveries in the pocket, a lot of pull shots, a lot of in the holes, cow corner. So like we bowled into their strengths ultimately, and they could play an attacking brand of cricket. But it was almost like they were trying new things. They never bowled the general lines that we expect from these bowlers, particularly these bowlers that were bowling today. We saw Lazard Williams was also a bit expensive today. Tabray Shams, he was quite expensive. Um, you could say our best bowlers. Well, we could take his Keshav Maharaj 1 for 35 in his three. He was quite expensive as well. He needs to get a little bit more control. It gets me thinking about some of the other spinners that have been left out, the likes of Bjorn Fortuin and the likes of Keshav, the likes of George Linde, etc., that have been left out. Um, well, I've got a special guest with me that's going to talk about it a little bit more. I just want to first get her thoughts because she can't stay on for too long. But Emily was at the game today. Welcome to the show, Emily. How are you doing? Good to see you all over there. How's it? How was the scenes? What was it like to watch the game live? Can you hear us, Em? Hello. Okay, I can't get through to Emily. She's not. I don't think she can hear us until she. Maybe I'll just kick her from it and then just let her rejoin again. But she was at the ground. She watched from the ground. She posted. She might post a couple of pictures on the click info on the cricket fanatics all over the place, like the Proteas Instagram account. She'll post probably some pictures. She's going to try to get on again. I'm hoping. I hope that the signal holds out. She's obviously at the stadium, so it's going to be very difficult to do that from that perspective. But okay, cool. So, what are the positives that I took out of this? First and foremost, we found our opener. I don't want to be experimenting anymore with regards to who should open the batting in ODI cricket. For me, it is 100% got to be JANNEMAN MALAN that opens with Quinton de Kock. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Um, and I saw some people maybe talking about how slow he bats. Guys, I've been speaking about it for quite some time. That is how JANNEMAN MALAN bats. I think there's a understanding that the false understanding that's going around that this man scores his one day that he scores his one day runs at an alarming rate. He's a guy that I feel bats deep, can bat, can really punish you as he gets in, and consistent run scorer that can get big runs for you is very important at the top of the order. I still think that Quinton de Kock would be more of the aggressor in the opening overs. Can he tweak some of his game? Yes, he can. But you can still see that there is some issues with a moving ball and against spin. We saw it; it was evident today. In this particular game. So he does when he gets in, he's dangerous and he can really up his scoring very quickly. But he starts off slowly, and that's been the case with JANNEMAN for quite some time. And I think we just need to accept that that's how it is. Unfortunately. But I do believe that Malan is the right partner for Quinton de Kock. Because at least he's converting his scores. He's scoring a hell of a lot of half centuries, a hell of a lot. He's getting centuries under his name. He's getting runs on the board. I think that would be a good partnership for Quinny at the top of the order. With regards to Aiden and Cal Verreynne, it was strange to see Cal Verreynne opening the batting because I'll tell you why. And maybe it's because they thought process behind it was the fact that they haven't really played much cricket. They want to put them in the mix to be able to get as much balls under their name, get as much cricket under their belt, and try to play as best as possible. Unfortunately, Calverena didn't show that. As an opener, it's difficult as an opener to be able to do something to suddenly open the batting against a new ball. You batting first on a new pitch. It's tough for anybody to open as a general opener, but to get to let Klaasen open the batting was just, I mean, to let Carl Verreynne open the batting was a stupid move for me. I think I want to be able to give you want to be able to give guys chances in their positions that they're going to play. I don't understand the thinking behind letting him open the batting. When you have guys that are actually fighting for those top three positions, like Aiden Markram, and you've got guys like Riza Hendricks that are fighting for those positions, then why not give them chances to prove that they can open the batting? Because it was strange for me if you're not going to have Quinton de Kock and then you bring Cal Verreynne in. I mean, that was strange for me. I would have liked to see maybe Aiden open the batting instead. Seeing that he is a batter that is open before and he's in the top four, or Riza Hendricks open the batting if that is the backup opener. But Calvareno was a strange one for me. He went out for 11. I'm just gonna put up. I'll put up the scorecard for you guys to see, so that you can actually see with it. I didn't know why. I don't know why I didn't do that early on. Um, yeah, guys, copies rising today. Riza Hendricks, 36. Again, Aiden a pretty 30 again. Unfortunately, he needs to bring. He needs to. He needs to bat better. Aiden needs to convert. He needs to get 50s more often. He showed great intent at first, etc. And it was okay start once again. But we're used to this pretty 30s, and we want more from him. Rassi batting so low, I'm not a fan of that. He either bats at 3 or 4 highest. I don't like 5 and 6 for him. Um, 5 for him, I think it's too low down. David Miller and Klaassen are in phenomenal form. Perhaps we have now settled on Klaassen as being that number 6, maybe for South Africa. David Miller was exceptional, and I hope that he keeps this form up into the World Cup, because we're really, really, really going to need him. Especially if we're going to continuously have this middle order collapses that we have. Kyle Zondo, I don't know why they batted him so low as well. Makes no sense. They just gave him an opportunity to bat as best as possible. But I think that this gave as many batters as a chance, and this tried to bat everybody that they could. That was the decision that they tried to make. They wanted all their batters to bat, and they did so ultimately. So yeah, let me try to get Emily on again. Hopefully that it does work this time. How's it, Em? Can you hear
Hey,
me?
hey. Yeah, yeah, I can hear
Perfect.
you. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me
Sorry,
about
that's
the
annoying.
atmosphere. Yeah, no way. Tell me about the atmosphere there. What was it like to watch the game? I know disappointing result for the Proteas, but
Yeah.
overall, what was the experience like for you?
Yeah, it was a great experience. It was a bit different with like minimal music. The music was quite soft in between overs, so like that was different. Basically watching a game in silence. But no, it was good. It was fun. It was nice to see, some people score some big runs. Obviously I missed Yama's 100, but nice that he got some, and I saw David Miller's 50. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was good. It was a good game. Like you said, I heard what you're saying. Now I think they were just trying to bat everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, what was strange for me was Calvareno opening the batting. I know you never got to see it, um, but I mean, it was a weird decision for me that they decided to move him suddenly opening the batting instead of maybe giving one of the other experienced guys maybe an opportunity to bat higher up. What was your thought
Yeah.
on that specifically? Do you think that South Africa played with a certain game plan that you recognized? I mean, obviously Klaassen and David Miller, you saw them bat. How fun was that to see them play with that intent?
It was. I mean, obviously, always good to see players going from 10. Um, but yeah, like obviously they made a decision to open a Farina. Maybe it didn't pull off, but I think that, like you said, they were just trying a whole lot of different things. So yeah.
Mm. And the bowling, though. I mean, you messaged me like in the
Uh,
18th over and telling me like we're getting slaughtered here. So like, what went down? Do you just think it was the wrong lines of lengths that they bowled, or what was the case? Is it match rhythm? What do you think?
um, not quite sure to be honest. I think the players that they were playing against were just really good. Um, you know, quality players. Ben Duckett, he was playing quality shots, and obviously Will Smeed is quality for Somerset. So I think they're not necessarily bowling terribly. There's just some really good shots and really good cricket happening. So I mean, obviously England have quality players in the A side as well. So yeah, I think we're definitely gonna have to look at our bowling though, because the spinners were going for runs,
Yeah, yeah.
for a lot of runs.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
give us maybe a little quick turnaround tour of the stadium, everything around? I want to see what it's like there. Want to see your environment, who's around.
Okay. Okay.
The game's done, so there's nothing wrong with regards to rights, etc. I just want to see the like. I mean, I wish I was there with right now as well to be able to see the game, but it's nice to see everything. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Giving us a quick selfie tour. So awesome, yeah. The players, did you get to meet any of the players? Talk to any of them yet? See them?
Um. No, I spoke to I said hi to Aiden. Told him you say hi.
Okay.
I I saw Reza, spoke to Reza for a bit,
Mm.
but I haven't really seen anyone else. But luckily, like the dugout was right where I was sitting, so I could just walk past and see
Yeah.
some of
So
them. So
what was their behavior like during this game? Did they seem disappointed after this? Did they seem chilled about it? Like, what was the vibe in the camp after this game?
um,
From your opinion, of
from my
course.
perspective, they seemed very like chilled, in the sense of it wasn't an official game, so they weren't didn't seem disappointed about it. Um, they seemed very relaxed. I saw some smiles on their faces and they're coming off. So I don't think they're necessarily disappointed. Are seeing it as a warm up game and just a game to get into things. So I mean, I don't know if we should be disappointed or worried or whatever. I don't think yet. I think it's just they're just finding their feet here in England and preparing for the series. So yeah, I don't think too much worry yet. But yeah, it was a good game.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's get your final words. Anything you want to say before you go? Just anything that you maybe never picked up or I never asked you.
Um, the outfield here is incredibly fast, so that's why there were so many runs. I think I mean, both teams. I mean, England scored in like the 38th over. They chased it down. So yeah, the outfield is really quick, and I think the ground is a bit smaller than other grounds. So that's why you see so many runs here. But no, it was a good game. A lot of sixes and a lot of fours from both teams. So yeah, I think that's my last words.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll catch you again in there's a long England tour happening. You obviously now based there. So I'm hoping that we'll catch up again about for the rest of the games, etc. I hope you get to watch some of the Proteas
Yeah,
play some of their games as
yeah.
well.
I'm gonna go watch the women on Friday, so that should be good.
Okay, awesome.
Um, and then hopefully watch another men's game or two. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, awesome. Good luck over there, and
Yeah,
I'll speak to you soon.
thank you. Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers. See you. Okay, some nice insight there from Emily to get an understanding about. I really wanted to know what the team environment was like after this. How are they feeling currently as a team? Were they disappointed? Were they not? She's obviously saying there was a lot of smiles. They seemed okay. I mean, you can never be happy with the loss, guys. It's disappointing the way we lost this game. The bowling was terrible. We didn't really come to the bat. Everybody to the we didn't come to the party with a bat necessarily. So there are some questions around that, but I think when we play a better team, our first team against them, we can really start analyzing it a lot better. I think we should just take the tidbits from this. It's like, for example, with United playing Liverpool today. We won 4-0, but I mean, it's a preseason game. You need to take a look at the situation as well. There was a lot of mistakes from Man United's point of view. There was a lot of mistakes from Liverpool's point of view. You could see it was a preseason game. So it's just a warm up match. But the point of the warm up match is also to implement the style of play that you want to play. It's also about implementing the style and the ideas that you want to play. And I didn't see that necessarily today from the Proteas. I didn't see an intent like the Lions showed. And the Lions is a team that was plucked together, almost like pushed together and brought together. It's not necessarily a team that has been playing for a very long time. So I guess they will be playing with also a lot more freedom. But I wanted to see our guys come out with a little bit more intent, especially our middle order guys, the slower batters like the Rizas, like the Rassis, and all of them, etc. But yeah, bowling was poor. Let's get into some of your comment section stuff over here. What you guys had to say. We've got CLNRE saying Janneman did open today and scored a century. Other positives were a lively 50 from Varane and steady 50 from Miller. No, from you meant from Heinrich Klaassen. I'm at County on Taunton County ground for this almost unnoticed Lions fixture as England are playing India also in a 50 over game today, and they got completely destroyed by India. Wow, it was ridiculous. I didn't expect that. Our thought should be with Mark Boucher today. When I saw SA play on this ground, Mark suffered his career-ending eye injury. Okay, when you're uh, when your country captain is Bavuma and Maharaj, you never won a World Cup. Bro, that's a dumb statement. I'm sorry to say. Like Bavuma wasn't even here. Um, and you don't know that with you don't know that we've had great captains in the past and we lost the World Cup. That has nothing to do currently with regards to whether we can win a World Cup or not. Um, Although SA batting was positive, the game was taken away from them by the 113 stand from a local pace meet and Banton when the SA bowling was very scrappy. Yes, the bowling was the problem with my bowling was the inconsistencies. Like we were bowling literally all over the place. We could never keep a decent line, and it's almost like T20. We were bowling T20 lines and lengths, like trying to mix it up and bowl. Like just keep a decent line and length in a difficult position and make them struggle and come forward and play the ball. But we were all over the place today. It was very bad bowling. I don't know if it's what the weather was like there. I don't know if it was. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the excuse. There shouldn't be an excuse to bowl that way. Match rhythm could say possibly, but I mean, yeah, it wasn't really necessarily a very good. There's nothing good I can say really about the bowling performance, to be honest. I don't know. I'm speechless about it. Perhaps we are due a performance like this now and again, but why Zondo and Adile come before Pretorius? I think it's pure and simple just because game time and wanting to see everybody get a clear opportunity to bat. Boucher said he wants to see everybody in the squad bat today, and that's what he did. He kept to his word. So I don't know why, if there was issues with that, why that wasn't, why we didn't speak about that or mention it when he said that in his press conference, which I spoke about in the week. I mean, I did a whole reaction video about this, and he said it in there that he wants to see all the batters bat, every single one of them, and he asked permission if they can field all their batters and then make a change for the second when they bowl, which they did. They saw everybody in the squad play today. A teacher saying, "What the hell was that? Why do South Africa get happy with 300 score? It was a belter of a wicket. Go hard, man. You're right. I wanted to see more intent. There wasn't enough intent. We should have gone harder. We should have gotten more runs. 300 wasn't a good enough score on this ground. You could clearly see that. Plain and simple to see. Khalid, as I told you many times, with this type of limited overs cricket we play currently, we won't get far. The cricket world is moving to more fast-paced cricket, and we are stuck in the 2000s. You correct there, guy. We need to move forward. Old-fashioned ODI cricket within the first 30 overs. After 30 overs, the Lions had around 250 runs. Smart cricketers say, while the Lions showed pure aggression, the power play score in the overs should be above 80, says Dex. And I agree with you there. And that's why we need to find a solid opening partnership. I mean, you can't, we can't expect to get a guy, let a guy play international cricket as an opener if he hasn't played as an opener, and then expect him to suddenly show miracles. I mean, I think it was ridiculous to open with Kyle Verreynne today. It's not like I don't believe Kyle can do it. I mean, Kyle is very talented batter, but I mean, it was unnecessary to open with him. I think maybe you could have brought him in at 4, and that is, I think that is high enough to bring him in early, seeing that we did collapse anyway. So I would have rather wanted to play our backup opener in that, or backup top 3, because we kind of have these floaters in our team that can play anywhere in the top 3 or anywhere in the middle order. So bat those guys higher up. If you really want to give Kyle Zondo a chance, get him batted 5, 6, or 5 or 4, not right at the bottom at 8 in a situation where there's basically no time for him to show what he's capable of. So we are currently always in limbo. Like there's no coherency, I feel, in the selections that we make. Like a plan to say, you know what, we want to give people opportunities. So everybody that hasn't batted and in the last couple of months or hasn't had an opportunity, you guys are going to be the stop. So JANNEMAN starts first because he's the only recognized opener over here, and then we're just going to move down and give everybody opportunities from there. It didn't seem that way. It was like a mix between what our real team is and what our real team isn't. So it's a weird situation. Um, and I said before, like I think that if, like, for example, doing this with Zondo is idiotic to me, because if you're going to give a guy like Zondo a chance, if you've selected him now in the squad, then he either plays in his recognized position because he's an experienced player. He should be able to be thrown in the deep end and perform, or you don't give him a chance at all, and you pick another youngster to do this what Zondo did today. I mean, for me, it doesn't make sense at all. You're either going to give the guy a chance, which by selecting him, or you pick a youngster that can learn more from the experience. As simple as that. Um, Keith, I'm saying he's disappointed with Malan. I've spoken about it quite a bit on this channel, and I said specifically, I told you guys, watch JANNEMAN in 1 days. That's how he bats. That's his style of batting. I know we're trying to force him to be this big power hitting opening batter in T20 cricket, for example. I don't think that suits his game, to be honest. I think he is a type of guy that needs to get his eye in and take his time at the crease and then bat deep. That's Janneman for me. It's always been Janneman for me. Big power hitter, yes, he hits the ball really hard, and I think people maybe overestimate that fact. Because he hits the ball hard, we automatically think that he's going to bat quicker. For me, majority of his innings that I've seen him play, he's taken his time. He's batted. He's batted deep, batted long. His best innings have been like that way. So that's what I expect from Janneman Malan, and I don't expect him to suddenly switch it for T20 cricket. And I think perhaps that is one of their concerns, because they can easily just put a spinner on opening over. You're struggling already, putting pressure on Quentin the Cock at the other end. So there's a lot of things that we can discuss with regards to that. In ODIs, however, I think this format suits him perfectly for South Africa, and I think that Quinny will be his perfect partner. How can we calm down? This is the type of limited overs cricket we've been playing for years now. This is the best we've got. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to find any excuses. This is the way we play. Um, can we wait until the first ODI to start saying that? I think we need to. Yeah, I mean, how much are we going to read into this? We didn't have our designated openers today to give us a good start. Janneman was there, yes. There were a lot of new guys in the side. We want to see an improvement in the mentality and the style, yes, but it's going to take some time. We are really struggling in ODI cricket currently. We haven't been in the best of form, and we need to find some synergy going. Let's see how we play in the official match, and then let's start critting from there on out. I just feel a bit. I don't feel like I want to go guns ho right now on this particular review on a warm up game. Let's go on the official list A game, which will be the next game against the Lions, which will be a proper 11 that we'll put down. Then we can start critting. I'm not making excuses at all. It is a warm up game. That's a fact. And we can see where the problems are. We need to fix it. Simple as that. There's nothing else for me to say on that point. We need to improve it. Let's move on. Klaassen has once again showed why he should be a mainstay in our white ball sides. Yet he's the first name to get mentioned when we talk about dropping people. Weird that. Klaassen, Middle, and Aiden were better than Malan, in my opinion, today. Interesting point, Keithan. Kyle opened against Bangladesh as well. Maybe they just like the idea of a keeper opening the batting. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. I mean, he's not an opener. To South Africa understand that batting against a new ball and batting against the old ball is different. Like batting with a new ball obviously has a different mentality. There's a whole different skill set that you need to bat against a new ball, especially in swinging conditions. Rickleton can also play modern, but I agree. I thought Rickleton was very unlucky not to make this team, not to make the side, or not to make the squad. If we play similar the way to England, India, Australia, etc., and they played like this today, I would say, okay, cool, let's calm down. But we don't. This is our game. This is the way we play, and it's crap. Hashtag fact that it is crap. I want to see improvements. I'm sick of hearing it from Boucher that we're going to improve, that we're going to play a more attacking brand of cricket, and that we don't see it actually happen. So it also got to do with the personnel too. Aiden again played his typical ODI innings. Pretty tatis. Awful performances. It was an awful performance, guys. It was poor. I agree with you. I just don't. I'm not gonna get like pissed about it. Like I'm upset that it was bad and it was crap, and I hate that it wasn't a great performance, especially with the ball. But I'm not going to get overly upset about it. We've got a warm-up game that we need to focus on now and try and win that game to get some momentum into this T20 against England. Because if we play like that against England, we're going to get slow third. Harley, just answer this question. Do you honestly think Zander deserves to be a part? Nope, I don't believe that he should. I thought that there were other batters that could have gotten opportunities ahead of him that I think are better for the future. Look, Zander's been a consistent batter in the domestic scene. He's toiled away, done his job at the list A and list A cricket for the Dolphins, etc. Batted there for a very long time. Has put in performances now and again. Has had good seasons, had bad seasons. Good this season, he had a pretty decent season. But I still believe that there's guys ahead of him that could be selected above him in that position. If he's going to be a number 4 batter, which I feel that he should be, if he's going to be in the team, if he wants to be in the team, he needs to be 4 or 5. I think there are other 4s and 5s, even Tristan Stubbs, for example, that can bat him. Tony DeZorzi, Sims Makanya. There are other batters that I feel. Vian Libber in ODI cricket. There are other talents, Devat Brevis as well. If you're going to look at the future, another opportunity for him. Maybe it's a bit too soon. I mean, I still push for the fact that I want to see him play some domestic cricket before he gets into the Proteas side. But I wouldn't hate it if they brought him in either. So I'm in a 50-50 with regards to Devat Brevis. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer currently. It's just opinions, but I didn't think that Zonda deserved to be in the squad from the get go. I was one of the guys that said I don't think that he should have been in. So yeah, that is my answer to you, Dex. Khalid, we're sitting with a big problem in terms of Shamsi. He's been dreadful. You know what? I think Shamsi is a great T20 bowler, but I've always had worries with him in the longer format. Because what makes Shamsi so amazing is the fact that he only has, when in T20 cricket, is that he has those 4 overs to bowl, and the variations that he has to his game, he can really make you think every delivery. Whereas in ODI cricket, you need to be able to also hold an end. You also need to be able to bowl consistent deliveries over and over again. And I think maybe Shamsi is a little bit too erratic for the ODI arena. So I would have maybe thrown in you want guys more to bowl. You want your spinners to be able to take wickets, of course, but I don't think you can bowl with as many variations in ODIs as you can in T20s. And I think that Shamsi needs to bring a standard delivery that he can bowl consistently with that he can use consistently, and then add those variations as the wicket taking option. I don't think he's tailored his game to ODI quite well. I think, and we see domestic cricket as well. I mean, he hasn't been necessarily the best spinner in domestic cricket, I would say, either when it comes to taking wickets and in the ODI arena. But in T20 cricket specifically, I think he's world class. So we need to look at Shamsi. He's been in terrible form, and when he's in bad form, he is very bad to watch when he's in bad form. And when he's in great form, he is unstoppable. But I think for him, it is match rhythm. He needs to get as many games under his belt. Shamsi is very much a form type of guy from my perspective. Watching him play, he's been the type of guy that once he finds his rhythm, he doesn't stop, and it keeps rolling. But when he has a break and there's some long periods without cricket, he tends to go back into struggling terms, into struggling lanes, and then find his way back into the system again. So I guess we need to be a little bit patient with Shamsi as well, because I think, I think he needs to find his rhythm going forward. But it wasn't a good performance, and it hasn't been good performances from Shamsi in T20 and ODI cricket recently, in the recent series that we've been playing. Shamsi could be bad, but we have Kesh covering him. We'll just play a single spinner in ODIs the series anyway. He has time to come back to form. Jordan doesn't deserve considering his age, lack of consistency, but I have no idea why SA prefers a 33-year-old without even proving himself. And that's you see, I think the number of games he's played experience-wise over the period of time, I think that has also played a part in Victor's or the selector's thoughts of picking him. And of course, also the fact that we're missing a Black African batter isn't an excuse, shouldn't be an excuse, because we've got other Black African batters in the system. If we were looking for a Black African batter, we've got younger options that are available. Mitchell Van Buren's averages 52 in the List A cricket. Ruben Swat averages 68 in List A. Why are they not in the Proteas A side? Because I feel that you're looking at List A, and List A also includes the 3-day cricket. They've only had one necessarily or 2 seasons of 1-day cup cricket at the top level in domestic cricket. They haven't necessarily played a lot of games for their Division 1 teams. They played a lot of semi-pro cricket before this. And I think that's the reason. I think one more season for both, perhaps we could see them in the side. Proteas struggled to chase 300 against Bangladesh last series, and today England Lions chased 318 like it was nothing. It was nothing. It's quite embarrassing to see it, actually, to be honest with you. Um, Guys, it was pretty embarrassing. Let me just be honest with you. To watch that, to watch us bowl the way we did, it was pretty embarrassing. There's no excuses here, guys. There's no excuses. Um, but I do think that when we have a solid team with a solid game plan going into the game, we'll look better. Hopefully, we can play with a little bit better intent in the next game. I'm really hoping that that will happen. Very, very. I really, really hope. If they're not worried about that performance, then what's the point of playing the warm up games? Then they got embarrassed today. So the warm up games is to get time at the crease, familiarize yourself with the conditions, the the um, the weather, etc., the pitch, um, going out there and trying new things that maybe you can't try in a real match. Those type of things are things that I think that the warm up games are for. It's to get minutes. That's what it's for. It's not necessarily. I mean, if we won this game, would we be sitting here and being like, "Oh my God, yes, we're gonna win the series"? No, we would have just said it was a warm up game too. So either way you look at it, it's like that. But there's more negatives to take out of this particular warm up game than positives, in my opinion. The only positive really to take out of it is our pattern is Klaassen for me. I'm not going to put Miller into the mix because we know Miller. That's Miller. Miller's down on the table, pun in it, like he's there, anchor down. But for Klaassen, he's made a strong point for himself in this particular squad. So is JANNEMAN Malan. He needs to be the opener with Quinton Cock. I don't want to see them experimenting anymore with openers. Quinton Cock, JANNEMAN Malan opening the batting. Then finding that number 3, 4, 5 is important. What they're going to settle on. We know that they like Aiden because of the extra bowling option. So it does look like he's going to occupy that number 4 position. JANNEMAN needs to bat it. Rassie has to bat at 3, in my opinion, until the captain Timber Boma comes back. Then they must decide what they're going to do for that as well. Timba's injuries came at a bloody wrong time because now I don't know what they're going to do. How can CSA play like ignore a player like Rwanda Swatu averages 68 in the state cricket? He does not even get selected in the A side. I've already answered that. Riley Show should be in the ODI squad as well. I don't know about that. I think T20s is fine for him. We're going to be whitewashed by England. Proteas under AB played ultra aggressive modern day cricket in ODIs from the word go, like 400 plus scores in a single year, and we still won the World Cup, and we still lost the World Cup. Zondo is not the answer. Players who have strike rates should be prioritized. We can't bat slow and play conservative. The main problem we have is not having the like for like replacements if Quinton Cock is out injured. Kyle and Riza comes in, both different to Cock. If Roy gets injured, Livingston comes in like for like. Yeah, we're struggling with like for likes, and I've said that before. Many occasions I've said it. I said I want to know when a squad is picked. I want to know who's 1 to 5, sorry, 1 to 6, and know who the backups are for each position. We currently don't know that. We don't know if they're going to bring Riza in at 3 or open, or what they're going to do with Riza. We don't know what they're going to do with Carl anymore. He floats around. We don't know what they're going to do with Aiden anymore. He floats around. They need to be concise in their like for like replacements and right down to the bottom. When it comes to right down to the bottom, I'm talking about 1 to 11. They need to be concise about that and be a little bit more transparent with the fans with regards to that, so we understand that too. We should look at England's way of playing white ball cricket. Fans are frustrated. We've had to watch this for years now. This is unacceptable. Yeah, we are frustrated. We want to see this cricket being implemented now that we've been speaking about. We've been speaking about this bloody attacking, smart branded cricket, and I still am not seeing it. Really, still am not seeing it. I hope that they can start showing it. I hope they show it in the next bloody warm-up game, that the intent is there from the get-go. Because we're not currently seeing it. Even with 100 from JANNEMAN Malan, we still end up only scoring, just scoring 300, just going past 300, which is unacceptable. Because if your batter is batting 116 balls going deep, batting right up until the 35th over. Like, I mean, how could you? How can you not at least get 350? It's just, it's bad. Um, Khalid, we currently at the bottom half of the super. Yeah. So these guys deserve criticism. It's not like we're ripping. You 100% correct to criticize, guy. 100% right to criticize. It's unacceptable what we're doing in ODIs. And I said that we should have had a 2023 plan for years already. Not this, not start right now. We should have been having this a plan for 2023 for years already. It is completely unacceptable. The way we've gone about our business. Uh, yeah. Anyway, we've got an incoming call from Cape Town. We've got Mr. Aditya with us. He's finally arrived. I'm gonna be seeing him tomorrow, guys. How's it going, Aditya? I don't know if you got to watch any of the warm-up game. Um, if you got to catch a glimpse of it at all. What were your thoughts
And
on it?
not much. I haven't seen a lot of it, but what I did see recently was Riley Rousseau's knock of 93, and I thought that was some serious stuff. I also read Victor Empetsong's statement comparing Riley Rousseau and Faf, and the fact that Riley plays for a provincial side, whereas Faf does not, which is why he's been included
Ah.
in in the uh, in the setup. So
I
yeah,
never saw that comments. Where was that comments?
I saw on Twitter. I think our dear
Oh,
friend
flip.
Lawrence might have put it up.
Oh, flip. I missed that completely. Lawrence, where did you get that from? I missed that completely. It must have been over my head. You know how busy I was today with a whole lot of things. You know, I went to go get my license card as well today. You see, I can't pick up Aditya if I don't have my license card. You know, I can't be driving with a temp license.
I'll pick you up because I have my license.
So yeah, I got that today. So you have the better of venti Khalid. It's either that or we bottle up whiskey. Yes, guy. Let it out, bro. Let it out. I was disappointed, to be honest, with the performance. It was a very lackluster performance, but at the end of the day, it was a warm up. But it was lackluster. I don't like that we don't play with that with our style every time we walk out of the crease. It seems to be a mishmash, mashup of a whole lot of different styles of cricket currently. It's not very coherent, and I don't like that. But you want to maybe talk about your India versus England?
Yeah, that was a serious rout, eh? Jasprit Bumrah today
Jeez.
was just crazy. 6 wickets for 19 runs, I think. He bowled 7 overs. Fantastic. Uh, I loved Joe Butler's comment on it, which he said that in a two-horse race we arrived third. So surely they're disappointed. But then the one thing that I like about England is that although they've gotten dominated like that in this game, it's not going to affect the way they play the next game. They're still going to go the same way, and I think that's something to be proud about for them because they've committed to a style of play, and they live by the sword, they die by it. But we talk about the warm up, right? And Sanjay Manjrekar, the former India cricketer, he made a very interesting point about warm ups a couple of years ago. I think around the time that India was touring South Africa in 2017. And he said that the reason you play a warm up game is that when you're adapting to new conditions, you're going to make some mistakes because you're adapting to these conditions. So the point of the warm up is that you make your mistakes in the games that don't really matter. So that by the time you start your first test match or your first ODI, you don't make those mistakes. You sort of adapt to those conditions. And I think somewhere perhaps South Africa would benefit from that piece of counsel.
I hope that they had an eye on that to see what India did to England, because we're going to have to take every single little bit of help that we can get. Um, I see Matt over here, people agreeing with Matt as well, saying the coaching staff and selectors should be held accountable. Victor Mpetsang should get the sack as a selector. He's made a lot of poor decisions, but he's also made some decent decisions, I have to admit. For example, Simon Harmer coming back into Test cricket, allowing the Colpacks to come back was a decision, obviously, that Victor made along with the director of cricket, along with the coach. They decided to get the Colpacks back into the mix. Radha So coming back into the mix, those type of things. He's given a lot of youngsters opportunities to get selected within squads. That point doesn't have, I think the final 11 has also got to do with Mark Boucher. He makes the final decision on teams. So the whether those youngsters get an opportunity in the first 11 is going to be highly up to obviously also Boucher making those decisions too. So he should also take some accountability for this. I think we protected Mark Boucher quite a lot. The fan base. I've seen the fan base protect Mark Boucher a lot as well. He also needs to get criticism when things go badly, and it shouldn't have taken. It shouldn't take us this long to start implementing a clear strategy on a new strategy. In football, for example, we talk about it a lot. I mean, I see the patterns of play instantly. When I watched them now today with United, you could see the patterns and the change in the play instantly. We can't, we still can't see intent, the right attitude, the right style of play in the cricket arena with Mark Boucher's team. I'm still not seeing it. We see it with some players, yes. Certain players have upped their game, upped their ability, but those are players we expect to do that already. We are not seeing changes. They spoke about the changes that they're adding extra shots to the game plans, all of those type of things. And we still are not seeing it after 3 years. So at what point do we say, Mark, whatever you are doing to get these guys to want to play a more aggressive plan of cricket, it's not working? At what point do we start saying that?
I don't know if it'll ever be said, if I'm being completely honest, because what's happening is that there's a certain brand of cricket that another team plays that everyone really likes, and that's England. And we see that we believe that that's the way forward. That is how all three formats are going to be played, right? And then you try to do that, but it doesn't work for you because you don't have the right personnel to do that. In 2015, when England were booted out of that World Cup, they made radical changes. Alistair Cook, no more, not in the test, not in the team anymore. So Jason Roy and Joss Butler and Johnny Bairstow and Alex Hale started coming in, and they started dominating straight away. And I think a, a lot of that is down to the personnel that they chose. And I'm not sure that I think South Africa playing a brand of cricket that, and this is something that you've said quite a lot, they're playing the brand of cricket that they want to play, the brand of cricket that England plays, but they're not playing it with the right personnel. Right?
And also, they're not going with the right approach. Like, for example, this is a brilliant comment by Lorenzo. He's saying that England will play exactly the same way even if they lose. Like, after they lost today, they're not going to go into their shell the next game and start playing a conservative brand like South Africa would do. I've seen South Africa do that. We go out to a game and we play with it. It didn't work. Then we go into our shell again. It's like I wouldn't, it's a bit harsh to call it cowardly, but sometimes it does seem that way. Get Langer in. I actually suggested that when we were looking for a new coach. I said, get Langer, get an Australian guy to be our next coach. Imagine that. That will be insane. I think it's exactly what all of these players need.
I think it's beneficial though. I'm all for I'm all for sort of that cross pollination of cricket cultures and sorry about that. Uh, Still figuring out my new place there.
He's lying. He's hiding a girl there behind the curtain. He's lying already with the Cape Town girls. He's been here for 1 year.
I'm all for that sort of cross-cultural interaction in the cricket world. I think it's really beneficial. Like if you look at Indian cricket post 2000, it really benefited from John Wright's approach. and the insight that he brought to Indian cricket, and I think we've sort of carried that forward. His tenure was the turning point for us. So sometimes I feel like having that fresh infusion of energy is really beneficial, and so I think I'm sure that the Langer comment is said in good humor, but I honestly feel like it should be a serious consideration too at some point when if Mark Boucher doesn't want to continue in the job, a couple of years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know even know what to say anymore, to be honest. Okay, Lorenzo says, do you think the current type of cricket is unfortunately part of South Africa's DNA? Certain cricketers, that's why it's maybe difficult to adjust. You could perhaps say that. I think maybe our youngsters aren't getting maybe exposed to different conditions early enough. I think maybe our school kids need to do a little bit more touring, especially our under 19 team, to go and learn about how to play aggressive in different conditions because they do it quite well. I mean, I've watched the schoolboys play and they play quite an aggressive brand of cricket when they're playing school level under 19s. Um, they've gone out with that brand of cricket and it didn't work for them. It was a little bit maybe too quick that they wanted to adjust without really building getting some enough game time under their belt. Playing that style of cricket is important, but I think within the South African setup, I think it's about first and foremost about personnel that can play that way. When AB was there and those guys, Amla and them were there, we played a very aggressive brand of cricket. I feel. I don't think we. I don't think we played the submissive brand of cricket necessarily. When AB was there, that 2015 team, for example, was an attacking team. They had an intent of wanting to go out there and score big runs. So I think it's also very important that we have the right personnel, players that think like that, because there are a lot of them. There are quite a few of them in the system that maybe just need an extra little bit of extra techniques and stuff added to the game to really push them forward and make them ready for the top level.
No, I don't think it's part of the South African DNA. But it's also a very good question, and I think the answer
Yeah,
to this is quite complicated.
yeah.
Um,
That's why I can't
so
really answer it in one sitting. I think we should have an actual show answering
yeah,
that question. Wait,
because if
let's hold that, Aditya,
okay,
for an
okay,
actual show because I think that's a brilliant question for a show. Maybe when we're together and we can actually really go into it in depth. But what
I think
if you
this is a
want to
good
give a
idea.
little bench, a little sound bite for it? You
Yeah,
can.
yeah. I mean, I I guess a couple of things to think about. One would be Herschel Gibbs. What was his
Exactly.
game?
Hmm.
You know, think about that. And secondly, I would refer our viewers to Neo Falana's interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Exactly.
it's a proper indication of how I mean he was so confident in the way that he
Yeah.
spoke
Yeah.
about certain cricketers. Yeah, I mean, go for it, man.
Hmm.
And also, thirdly, I would refer everyone to an article that I had written for the magazine back in 2020, I believe. And yeah, you should check it out, where I talk about a certain structure in South African cricket where, sometimes, coaching is too regimented. And yeah, just check it out, guys.
Link is on the screen, guys. If you want to download that, go have a look. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. I want to see you guys a lot more likes on the videos. Please go back and like the video after you watched it. We really, really need you to do that. And also become a patron today. Link is in the description. All the links are in the descriptions for everything that you need to do. But without further ado, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. We'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. It's going to be the first daily show that me and Aditya are going to do in person together. Hopefully, cross fingers, everything works out. So, me and Aditya are going to be doing a show for you guys live together in person for you guys. So, I hope you guys enjoy that episode as well. And let's get into it. Thanks a lot to everybody for tuning in. And we'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Peace. Peace.